everybody for coming out today. I think the crowd and the protest that was organised at the last minute really shows where Belfast stands on this issue. And again, I want to thank the organisers for
we've got one, we have one.
And indeed, as was already said, the unions who have come out this week
my first rodeo, lad.
My
first rodeo, mate.
We all stand in solidarity with the people of Palestine, as we have done here on many occasions.
Seen your video. Here, hit that like, share, subscribe, tag me in every photograph you have. Yep, that's me, man, that's me, 100% me. Nobody's denying it.
Ongoing genocide,
What about these folks? Welcome to Belfast here today. We're with Truth Podcast, man. Check this guy out. I always forget about this man. This man has interesting stuff here from Northern Ireland and from around the world. Guy covers everything, so he does. So welcome to Belfast, folks, on the 1st of November 2025. We have protest here about Paul Given. The DUP has went to Israel, so he has some say a fact-finding trip. He's actually the education minister, so this is why we have the Palestinians out today. Sinn Féin, Alliance, SDLP. We have a lot of people here are up in arms. Fellow MLAs and all are calling for Paul Given's resignation, so we are, like, you know, yeah. So just to be done about Belfast today, folks, to see what's going on, you know. As I say, like, there's a lot of people in the country are calling for the DUP MLA's resignation. I think they have to gather something like 30 signatures before they can maybe get close to going ahead, you know. So yeah, check it out, folks. So welcome to Belfast again, folks. That's what I'm saying. I'm just watching a Truth Podcast back here today. So I'm just looking over his shoulder, staying close to him today. What about you, lad? All good, mate? Just going to watch this back here today, mate. Alright, man. So yeah, folks, welcome to Belfast. Lovely, beautiful City Hall in the background there. Big up, everybody. Big up. There's Palestine flags that are going in the background. I'll say once again, I'll always say this, check out Truth Podcast, please. Northern Ireland YouTuber, check him out, man. Good guy. Covers everything, man. He's goes around the world there. He's only back from Poland there, I think, as well. So check him out, please, check him out, man. I always forget about him when I'm talking about all YouTubers here in Northern Ireland. So the Belfast Banksters in the house today too.
Hello. I'm making a documentary about what's going on here today. Would you like to give a few words with reference what's going on and why you're here and the reason for this protest?
I'm a teacher, and I just want to say that Paul Given doesn't represent me and the things that we stand for. I think it's disgraceful that he has gone to Israel to support genocide and a genocidal regime when there are thousands of children and schools disappearing in Palestine. I think it's disgusting.
Yeah, and it's solely about the very fact that the Israeli government had taken the likes of Paul Given, Ron McDowell and other people from the Northern Ireland Assembly and so on. Yeah. That's what this protest is about today, yeah?
That's what...
you know, I mean, I'm trying to scratch the surface in terms of what the Israeli government are doing, and I'll say this straight off, that it is wrong.
Well, it is wrong. Yeah. It's genocide, and you know, the international community need to stand up and bring these people to account, and not to welcome them into the international community by our politicians, so-called representative of our community, going to Israel and support them.
Yeah. Again, whilst they say that what the Israeli government are doing, I'll also say that what Hamas done was completely wrong. Was it on October the 7th of 2023? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, nobody is saying that was wrong, but after that happened, with 20,000 plus children, a complete decimation of a society, basically in the 21st century, is it pales into significance. And the conflict didn't start on the 7th of October. It happened. There's a history of every year going back to the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and nobody stands up for it.
Yeah.
So yes, the 7th of October was wrong, but it's based. Well, there's no excuse in that, but it's based on a conflict that didn't start on the 7th of October.
Now, a lot of the thought processes that would be coming through from people that I speak to would be to do with the very fact that Israel has a blockade in and around Palestine. I mean, it's like a prison, is the reality. But do you not think that Hamas and the way that they use their own people basically as human shields, to send them forward to the barrier between, say, Gaza and Israel? Do you not think that Hamas have a lot to answer for in terms of that they're using their own people? I mean, they say that Palestine should be free from the river to the sea, but I genuinely believe that if Hamas was out of the equation, well, maybe that land could be returned to a better place for everyone, and it would put the Israeli government behind the 8 ball. And should they do anything in the future, then it shows them for, well, what people are claiming, that they're wanting genocide.
But then if you equate Hamas representing the people and the IDF representing the Israeli people, then where do you cross the line in terms of who's to blame, them and us? Like, the conflict here was ended. The conflicts don't end by getting rid of people. You have to talk. For example, when there was peace here 30 years ago, it didn't happen because the IRA disappeared. It happened because there was communication between people, so that people could have a solution to that. Just putting the guns away doesn't end conflict. So it doesn't. So there needs to be conflict resolution, and that means communication. And you can't have communication when the IDF in Israel, which is supported by the likes of America and their modern equipment, to a revolutionary force that is standing up for the people and is elected as politicians in their own society. I mean, you just can't make that disappear. Whether they've got guns or not, they have to be spoken to, and it has to be negotiated.
Yeah. Well, listen, I want to thank you for talking to me. And just one question before that I move on, and I really do appreciate the fact that you spoke to me. From the river to the sea, would you like to give me a description of what that actually means?
I think that's a slogan that is basically a people looking to basically be free and have their own society, from the river to the sea, a free Palestine, perhaps in the future a democratic elected people that the international community recognises, from the river to the sea.
Yeah.
And maybe you might think that it's hijacked in terms of violence, but I mean, it's a catchy phrase.
Yeah. And from which river and to which sea does that actually mean?
The rivers.
From the River Jordan, I think. Yeah.
The rivers in and around Palestine and Israel and Jordan into the Mediterranean Sea to make it basically. I mean they're entitled to have.
And does that incorporate taking over the land of Israel to achieve that?
But I don't think that they are. I mean, Israel was founded upon land that was given to them from, after the First World War in Balfour, to imposing on the state, and even we had Paul Gibbon walking into occupied territories representing us. I don't agree with that question. Palestine has been there, so it has a legitimate state, and Israel has been given, and every year they impose more and more, to get rid of more and more people out of the land.
Yeah. And I mean, you says that it's best to talk to people, and I do agree with that it is best to speak to people, but isn't it also best maybe to get two sides of a story?
But that is two sides of the story.
Well, I mean, Paul Given and crew going and talking to the Israelis.
Paul Given went representative of the Education Authority, which is not a political regime. And as a teacher, I don't agree with that he used the EA to go there to represent people like me who work for the EA. So no, I don't agree with that.
Well, fair enough. Listen, thanks very much. Really, really appreciate that. And you and your good lady. Thank you.
Well, the wages folks here doing an MOT check, you know the crack, man. Postcode's on that anyway, I'm not worried about anything else on that there. Cheers! Everything looks sweet on that wheel. I'll get a wee look at that there, just keep a wee eye on Truth Podcast there while we're there. It looks alright on that. So you can get a thumbnail on that there, look. Yep. Two fine ladies there. Good day today, it's not raining.
Lovely day.
Yeah, folks, it's going to be MOT check there, so we'll pick this back up again, folks, so we'll pick it back up.
Yeah.
It's really, really important that we have hundreds of people
So Jerry Carroll, MLA, who's calling for the other minister.
List of important things that he's done in the last few months and weeks. As we've heard, he said in the middle of Stormont debate, he thanked the IDF for their genocidal campaign in Stormont. Shame upon him. He oversees a crisis in an education system which sees teachers and classroom assistants underpaid and tens of thousands of workers, mostly women, on temporary contracts. He oversees that system as well. He's passed a uniform bill which isn't really worth the paper that it's written on, refuses to let girls and young women wear trousers at school. He attacks trans people. So he's done a lot of abhorrent and disgusting things, but what he done this week was the last straw. And it's the last straw, and that's why we're saying today, loudly and clearly, he has to go. His time is clearly up. Because what's been happening in the last 2 years, a genocidal campaign has been waged by Israel, and thousands, tens of thousands of people of Belfast, hundreds of thousands across Ireland have came out and stood with Palestine, and whilst all governments haven't been supporting Palestinians, there's beginning to be a bit of a change. You may say it's slow and a long time coming. There's been a bit of a sea change. So in that context, it's even more disgraceful and disgusting that the Education Minister is going over and letting his role, his office, to engage in nothing more than a propaganda visit to bolster the image of Israel in the Middle East and across the world. At a time when everybody with sense and 2 eyes you can see knows that Israel is a pariah state and needs to be sanctioned and called out for his action. And I'm sure I'm not the only one this week, the only rep, but I've been inundated.
I have the people here in each section, man. You know,
who are appalled at what he's done. Classroom assistants, teachers, Palestine solidarity, people as well. And the minister had the cheek, had the gall, and his stooges had the gall this week to talk about he's only engaging in a fact-finding mission. Well, he can do one of two things. He can listen to us, or he can go to Google, which say that what has happened the last 2 years is 95% of school buildings have been wiped out in Gaza. Not a word, not an utterance from this minister, not a word from this minister about the schools in Gaza, and shame on him. Not a word from the minister about the at least 400 education workers killed by Israel in the last 2 years. And his party, his colleagues, have the cheek, have the gall, have the lie to talk about Israel being the only democracy in the Middle East. Israel is not a democratic state, it's an apartheid state, it's a genocidal state. And we are right to stand against it, the Palestinians are right to stand against it, people in the Middle East and America and elsewhere are right to stand against it as well. So we're saying loudly and clearly, he does have to go. And I think it says a lot if he is allowed to continue in his position. Nobody in Stormont, no minister should be allowed to exist in the position to be an advocate for Israel. Shame on him. People have asked me the last few days, will he go? Will the minister go? What's the point of doing this and doing that? And I hope that the motion I propose in Stormont is passed and he's sanctioned. But really, the key thing will make a difference in my view is not just the motion that's being submitted, not just backroom negotiations in Stormont or Council. The key thing that'll make a difference is you. It's people here mobilising today.
Folks, we'll pick us back up. We'll pick us back up here so well. He's talking about people being...
Everybody for coming out today. I think the crowd, the protest that was organised at the last minute really shows where Belfast stands on this issue. And again, I want to thank the organisers for
we've got one, we have one.
And indeed, as was already said, the unions who have come out this week
my first rodeo, lad.
Of the
first rodeo, mate.
We all stand in solidarity here with the people of Palestine, as we have done here on many occasions.
Senior video. Here, hit that like, share, subscribe, tag me in every photograph you have. Yep, that's me, man, that's me, 100% me. Nobody's denying
the
it.
ongoing genocide, the displacement
Protestant, yes. Protestant, yes. I'm a Protestant. Not a Loyalist, I'm a Protestant.
A man-made famine.
I don't mind your own business.
Why don't you fuck off? How about that?
I'm here to support the people of Palestine. You're here to agitate.
So what do you come up to me for? What did you come to me for?
Because you're a video.
Solidarity with the
That's right,
Palestinian
public place.
and we will continue to do so.
Do something about it.
Gaza's education
Do something about it.
systems
Over slobbered. You're a man with a big mouth.
You're the one that's video on Palestinian marches.
Yeah, you're in a public place.
Why don't you go do your own thing? Steady agitate. That's all you're doing. You only agitate.
Agitating, it looks like I'm agitating you up there. So what do you come to me? There's nobody here with me. There's nobody here with me, mate. I'm here myself.
Israel have murdered more than 20,000 children and 500 teachers. It is grotesque that the education minister has decided to visit Israel at this time.
So standing here, fella,
continuing to commit genocide.
Where do you get raised at, mate? I'm a Protestant, I'm not a Loyalist, I'm a Protestant.
Loyalist.
Yeah, mate,
Another 50 children were murdered in Gaza.
It's my city, you go elsewhere, what do you think of that?
And I say shame on
I think you need educated me by the looks of it, like.
A paid propaganda visit, paid for by the Israeli government,
Good one,
to try
mate.
and sanitise
Jog
what
on,
they're doing, and to try and convince us in the world
What do you mean,
that they are a democracy.
Right in my face. I'll be standing here for 2 minutes.
As in
What are you doing,
reality, their leaders,
If you're trying to intimidate me, you're in the wrong place, mate.
are under
You're in the wrong
scrutiny by
fucking
the
city, I'll tell you that now.
International Court for war crimes. And indeed, their leaders have arrest warrants out for crimes against humanity.
Think they're going to try and intimidate
That is
me?
no
Don't think so,
democracy.
son. Do you not think
This
so?
is the context in which Paul
Yes, yeah,
Gibbon
my
made
first
his
rodeo,
visit.
lad.
Your hands are
Sinn
shaking, mate.
Féin
So
will be
what?
And indeed, as was already said, the unions who have come out this week and spoke up against the actions of the education minister. We all stand in solidarity here with the people of Palestine.
Somebody calling CJ a racist.
On many occasions. And healthcare systems have been almost destroyed by constant Israeli bombardments. And indeed this week a UN rapporteur on children and women has highlighted that the actions of the Israeli government towards Palestine is normalising atrocities globally. What a stark statement to be made. In the past 2 years alone, Israel have murdered more than 20,000
Yeah, this is what you get whenever you try to speak to people. I mean, it's a free country, it's a free society, freedom of speech and all that, and you have a right to be here filming, and yet this is the type of thing that's going on here with CJ.
Another 50 children.
Yeah, I've said to the police maybe to move them back, but there you go.
And I say shame.
If it were me, I would try to avert that, but obviously it's not happening.
By the Israeli government to try and sanitise what they're doing and to try and convince us in the world that they are a democracy.
Look, you're standing a wee bit close, you know.
As in reality, their leaders, the whole Israeli regime, are under scrutiny by
all you need to do is move them back and that would be it, you know. There wouldn't be a problem. There's nobody here for any confrontation.
Against humanity. That is no democracy. This is the context in which Paul Gibbon made his visit. Sinn Féin will be raising this on the floor of the Assembly on Monday morning and holding the Education Minister to account. The Vice Chair of the Education Committee, Pat Sheehan, has also called for him to appear before the committee urgently.
Fella, would you not move back to save any controversy? Just leave him alone and, you know. Well, just try to tone it down. Yeah. Thank you.
No confidence in the minister that's being.
and committed war crimes against the Palestinian people.
Can't kill the truth with a hollow drone. Hands over eyes, clenched in fists. History.
Brilliant,
man.
All good, mate.
We had a fantastic cycle ride today, or yesterday.
Where were you, lad?
In and around Belfast.
200
of us in Halloween costumes. Brilliant crack. Very, very best of crack.
Good man.
Been a wee bit of fun.
Hey, I'm going to be your name in a minute, John. This guy crying to the cops. What? Bigot?
Being tabled.
Ah, that's it. Jog on, son. Jog on.
Along with all Sinn Féin MLAs, will be proudly putting on.
Go on, come back in a minute or two, man.
We will continue to stand with the people of Palestine in their right to self-determination.
So yeah, these guys think they're going to try and intimidate me, man.
Can be educated
Wrong city
and can
today,
be cared
folks. Wrong
for.
city, wrong place,
And
wrong
indeed
time.
here in Belfast, you are reminded when you're standing here of the banner that once said never,
So
never,
this guy
never.
called me a loyalist and all, called me a loyalist, called me a bigot.
We say yes and we stand international
all the
human
usual
rights.
stuff. I am a
We say
Protestant.
yes
It's the way I
and
was
we stand
born. I'm not a
for
loyalist.
international
I am a Protestant.
law.
Yeah, I can't help
We
that. You
say
know what I mean?
yes
Not
and we
ashamed of being a
stand for the
Protestant, you
right
know.
of the Palestinian people to self-determination, and we will continue to stand in solidarity with them, because our revenge and their revenge will be the laughter of Palestinian children. So I'm really
Thank you, Deirdre.
Give it a minute, John. I'll be up here in a minute, mate. All right, lad?
Doherty, an SDLP councillor for West Belfast.
Thank you. Friends, thank you for being here today and standing in
Yeah, I'm only doing a
solidarity.
backup cameraman here today. Like, I'm doing a backup for Truth Podcast here. Truth Podcast, check it out.
Elected
Yeah,
representative in this
backup
place
cameraman
should
and we're getting a
ever
lot
cross.
of
When
Ireland
that
and
happens,
equipment, man,
we
so we
have
are.
a duty
But
to
yeah,
step
I
up.
want to see this guy in the
When that
background
happens,
here.
we have the duty
Sorry.
to respond, and today the people
keep
of
you out
this
of shot,
city
mate.
are
Keep you out of
stepping up.
shot.
The people of this city are responding.
He's running away from me.
Clearly, together,
Fuck,
as
man.
one and saying, Paul, give
What?
them this go.
Doesn't want to associate it with me. What?
Which thousands of Palestinian
Yeah, so
children
folks, anyway,
were
yeah,
being
you get the flag protesters here. These have been protesting here for the last 13 years. 13 years these guys have been out on the streets every Saturday. Yeah.
Paul Given and his cronies took it upon themselves to
Get up in there, look. What? Well, it's in public, mate. It's in public. I don't, no, it's in a public place.
East Jerusalem. He walked into a school in occupied territory. Yards for where children were being slaughtered. Yards for where children were being murdered. And he pretended that everything was normal. Let us be clear, Minister. Your actions aren't normal. And there is nothing normal about genocide and the murder of Palestinians and innocent children. Ever. Shame. The use of the Department for Education or public resources to push out photos and praise a regime, an evil regime, destroying schools and killing children. The Education Minister. And this is not a first for you as politicians, and let's call it out for what it is. It is an indifference to the suffering and death of Palestinian people, day in, day out, including children, innocent children. Shame on Given, and shame on his cronies who join him in this repugnant and sick trip. A Minister for Education who ignores the killing of children.
Right, folks, we'll pick us back up.
So you were just saying there, CJ, that whenever that you walked over to the far pillar there.
Yeah, I didn't see. It was just videoing in round the car, so it was, and I was walking up the side of the car, and I was wondering why all the security were starting to move in on me. The head of the policing board here, Jerry Kelly, he's standing in below the speaker, former Sinn Féin, allegedly IRA member, allegedly, so people say, you know, I don't know, but the security moved in there. I didn't even know he was there, to be honest with you, and that's why I came in. It's only when I came out, when I pulled out, so to speak, that I seen him, you know, so yeah, so Sinn Féin, SDLP, Alliance, there's a lot of MLAs here from Northern Ireland here calling for Paul Given's resignation, but they need 30, I think it's 30 signed signatures, so as they can proceed with it. But whether to get that or not, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've seen it in the past in whenever we have the conglomerate of Sinn Féin, the Alliance Party, the SDLP, People Before Profit. I don't think the Greens is in the Assembly, so I don't think that they count. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see do they get their 30 people.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Another interesting point was I was reading online there from Jerry Carroll, MLA. He was saying that both communities are up in arms because Mr. Given going to Israel, the Education Minister here in Northern Ireland. But the thing is, I can't see Jerry Carroll get into a Protestant community and ask them their views on it. So I would say that's just, in my opinion, probably lies has been put out on the internet that both sides of the community are up in arms. Well, that would be his own personal opinion, in my opinion, you know.
Yeah.
There's a protest at Stormont on Monday at 11 o'clock, organised by Mothers Against Genocide. If you're able to make it, I'd really encourage you to do so. It's very important to keep up the pressure and make sure that Paul Given faces consequences.
How you doing? All right, lads. How you doing? All good, mate?
For coming and free Palestine.
Oh, sorry, just before we break up, can I just make one last announcement on behalf of the Belfast branch of the NPSC? Many of you may be aware, but many of you may not, but tomorrow night in the Devanese complex on Trinity Road North, there's a huge concert taking place with a huge array of talent. Individual musicians, performers and bands are giving up their time free of charge to raise money for 3 charities working on the ground in Gaza. Every penny raised on the night and in ticket sales will go for those 3 charities. Up to this point, around 300 tickets have been sold.
So yeah, folks, this podcaster getting a yarner with a MLA, Jerry Carroll. So yeah, it's like, check out the podcaster, will you? Just getting a wee bit of content there anyway, I think, True podcaster, check him out there.
I tried to get him, but he's got to get on. He says he's been in it for people on the stage. Or maybe go over and have a wee chat with
Right. No worries. Yeah. Well, here now, folks, I'm going to read this one up here today from Belfast here. All the best there, folks. This is all breaking up now anyway. I'll keep the body worn rolling, so I will. Belfast here. Cheers for joining. Hit that like, share and subscribe, and as always, thank you very much, folks. All the best.